You're listening to SM Media.
Welcome, folks, to our opening weekend review here on the 80 All Things looking at the West region. I'm Scott McPike. It is always a pleasure to be your host. I'm very excited to welcome a special guest this week. We're doing well with the guests, and I'm delighted to have another top name on this week to cover what has been a very busy opening weekend. It's a pleasure to welcome formerly of St Cadoc's and Cumnock, John Doyle.
Thanks very much, Scott. Pleasure.
How you doing? How you been? Obviously, bit of a weird time for you, I'd imagine. Obviously, not being in the game at the moment, but obviously you'll have a keen interest in, like yourself. How excited have you been with the kind of standard of the region at the moment?
To be honest, it's took a turn for the better, and no doubt that it's probably going to be one of the most exciting league seasons in every division, probably.
Mhm.
We'll have in a long time. So I think the divisions now are starting to kind of even themselves out. I think teams that they're starting to find their level now after the conferences. So now a few teams have been promoted, a couple have been promoted one after the other. So I was starting to see where public clubs should be now, and in the mix. So it's making for a very interesting season.
And obviously yourself kind of have like last season. Obviously, it spent a bit of time at Cumnock. Year before that, obviously, it's St Cadoc's. What's your kind of ambitions for yourself going forward, and how do you kind of look back on your kind of last couple of seasons in the West?
Um, I mean, for me, I'm keen to get back in, obviously, in the management, but at the same time, I need to hope, obviously, somebody leaves their job, and I hope it's somebody that leaves their job rather than somebody that's been sacked or whatever, It's not a nice thing to see for anybody, but so I am hoping, obviously, something comes up soon. Just kind of waiting in the wings and just waiting for the right opportunity, and it's that's probably the most important thing now for me is making sure it's the right opportunity.
Yeah.
Because the next club I want to be in, I want to make sure I'm there for a while, and
Mhm.
I've not had that opportunity yet to kind of be a wee bit long term, so I'm really looking for something long term. But so it's just a kind of waiting in the wings. But it's been, I say, been busy. I've been busy watching games and watching games. I'm just an enthusiast that way.
Yeah.
Constantly at games. I even go to training sessions even at times. I know it sounds a bit weird, but I just visit some people I know and got more sessions just to keep myself busy through the week and stuff, especially in the winter times. But no, it's been a busy tail end of last season. And obviously I've had my holiday and stuff like that, so I'm looking to
Yeah.
get back in and watching some games again. So we'll see what transpires in the next coming weeks.
Yeah, but until then, John, you're going to be talking about the opening weekend, and I'm hoping you can come on as much as possible to dissect the action. But we'll start with a very busy weekend. We'll start with the game at Glenafton. I was very fortunate to be at this game. Obviously, your old clubs and Cardiff's in there. I'll get your thoughts on them in a moment. But huge win for Glenafton, 4-3 home win over St Cadoc's. I've literally wrote a piece on this. You can view that piece on our Patreon. Full match analysis, full some interviews, some good interviews. Spoke to Chris Aitken, Kieran Diver at St Cadoc's. Obviously spoke to Ross Lindsay and Shug Kerr at Glenafton as well. And obviously get post-match reaction from the two managers that's on our Twitter as well. Really good game to be at. Probably one of the best games I've been at for a long, long time. Double from defender Ollie Road, double from Michael Mullen. St Cadoc's as well, a lot of positives to take. But overall, like a few Glens fans gave it to me tight about my predictions at the in the previous show, and I'm eating my words a bit, but I took from the game that these are two sides that are very, very impressive in different ways. But what a start for Glenafton. They couldn't have wished for any better.
No, it's a terrific start for Ryan, and I watched the highlights of that game as well earlier in the day, funny enough, and it was kind of intense stuff, great for a neutral. I think obviously if you're both managers, some of the goals that they conceded they'll be disappointed in. It's few for set plays and runners coming from midfield and stuff. It's just sometimes some basic defending as well, so there will be a wee bit of turning their head a wee bit. But to be fair, a great game to watch, and also for St Cadis to come for 2-0 down to pull it back to two
Yeah.
each was excellent as well. To be fair to them and get yourself in that kind of lead, but obviously then that's a kind of within a very short space of time they've managed to lose the game. So and without a doubt, Fez will be really disappointed he's lost the game, considering obviously how the chances they created as well. But at the same the same point. I think if MD was, I think a draw probably would have been a fair result in a sense, but just how open it was. But no, it was a good game to sit and watch as a neutral.
Yeah, that was the kind of takeaway I had. Obviously, Glenafton, I was really impressed with Glenafton for cross balls. I thought obviously they're going to have an aerial threat. They're tall side, like as well. They played a kind of 3-5-2, but it would occasionally get into a 4 off the ball. I liked it. Like Evan Maley at left wing back and the boy Ross at right wing back. I thought was superb, and I really do think they're two important players for them. Ross Lindsay was able to drop back for the ball as well. I think in terms of Glenafton, like if Ryan's obviously a terrific coach, but the one thing that really impressed me was when they went 3-2 down. A lot of managers would have just threw everything at it and went, right, I'm changing the plan. He stuck with it. And in the space of 2 minutes, they were ahead. Now, it is two different goals. Brilliant goal from Mikey Mullen to win the game. Probably worth a win in any game. But Ryan didn't panic. And that's what really impressed me about him. And I said this to him after the game. I said, like, you obviously had your plan and it worked. And, like, they obviously are going to have to be really, really good at home to keep in the league. We get that. But nobody's going to go to Glenafton if they stick to their game plan and come away with an easy victory. It's just not going to happen.
No, definitely not. I think it's always a difficult place to go, especially opening day of the season as well. And even like saying 2-0 down, I wouldn't imagine Martin would have changed his plan either.
No.
I think he's just the kind of guy who sticks to his philosophy and what he wants to do, and fair play to Ryan for doing the same thing. Also, that as you mentioned there, that with all their own stuff, Ollie's always going to be a threat at set pieces. He's tremendous in there, and if he gets a run on you, you've got no chance. And obviously he's took his goals very, very well. He towers above people when he's in mid-air like that, and he scored a few goals at the tail end of season before. I actually had a wee look at myself, I had a conversation about coming to St Cardock's, because I needed that, somebody with that kind of set pieces and somebody that can be that threat in the air, and he's obviously proven again that he's still capable of doing it. But no, it's going to be tight. Listen, they've signed Mullen, which I think is a terrific signing to get him away from Hurlford. He will certainly add a lot of firepower. Him and Shaw Kerr up front they'll be a real handful up there. And obviously, as you say, they've got their game plan sorted as well. Then it certainly makes them for a very tough game, especially going to Glenafton. But I've looked as if they could handle themselves well.
Yeah, and you obviously mentioned St Cardock's obviously like as clearly a side that Martin has kind of built himself using the experience he had with guys at East Kilbride, and he's brought in like Kieran Diver obviously straight in, takes his goal well. The boy McTaggart that was at Benburb I thought was really good as well. But looking at the kind of balance they had, the one thing that stood out when St Cardock's were able to play their system, so they were obviously looking to get the ball down. Glenafton's obviously the way Glenafton set up made it very, very difficult. But there was the two goals, the way like even the first goal, it's a terrific forward run for the boy McTaggart that allows kind of Neil McLaughlin to sneak in at the back post.
Yeah.
I can see St Cardock's, if like once they're able to kind of implement their system and they'll play it against certain sides. I even though they lost opening day, I'm not ruling out St Cardock's being up at the top, because I do think when they got it going, they were terrific in stages.
No, they're one of my favourites to go up. I watched them last season as well, and I know that again. Listen, they had a difficult start last season as well. They lost, I think, the opening day against Hurlford, and then I think we beat them the following Saturday. Coming up, we beat them at Benburb. So they had a difficult start and still finished off very strong. I don't think there's many teams in this league that's going to go through only losing a couple of games.
Yeah.
I think there could be many losses in it, and obviously going to the grass as well, which St Carroll's probably suit more AstroTurf kind of pitches as well, where they can get the speed of the ball moving a wee bit. And I'm watching the highlights earlier today, it just looked as if the game was a bit slow for them. They just couldn't move the ball quite as sharp and efficient as they would probably Martin would like. But at the same time, you've got to adapt to these kind of games and these kind of conditions. And I thought it was just a good game. But it's moments, as you say, there's maybe a fact I've seen it at the top of Ollie's, obviously Ollie Rowe and his goal and stuff. I thought he let the runner win. I think he let McTaggart go in just a bit too easy rather than following him. And he's obviously just then put it across for Neil McLaughlin to score. But it just shows you obviously that it's very, very fine lines. And you're right, once things get settled in, so I think obviously big Kieran Divers, there's no too much disruption to St Cardock's, to be fair. They've only added a couple of players in there, so they should do well and should hit the ground kind of running pretty quick. I thought that last season, albeit there were a lot of the players and Martin himself were still acclimatising themselves with the league a wee bit, so there was a wee bit of kind of a transition period for them. Where now obviously they're a bit more experienced as well, and learning obviously having to go to these games and how to win these types of games is not always easy. And it's just learning that side of things. So getting in like a Diver as well, who always score goals, is used to probably maybe playing a wee bit differently than did be the last couple of seasons or so. So it's going to take a wee bit of time, but as I said, it's the opening day of the season. Nothing's going to be won or lost. I don't think Martin's going to lose much sleep over it, and I think he'll kick on anyway. And as I said, they were certainly one of my kind of favourites at the beginning of the season there.
On Bees, obviously, they got off to a winning start. They sit top of the table. Obviously, two-time champions defending, looking to go for three in a row. And they got off to a strong start. 3-0 home win over Shotts on opening day. Goals from Stewart, Malcolm, and Monty. And it looks a different Bees side. I think we can all see that. Like Divers left, and Neil's left. But, looking at their kind of start, like, the big thing would be this season for me was will they be similar to last season? Will they replace the goals that they lost, like Fowler leaving the season before, Diver leaving this season? I'm looking at the acquisition of Fraser Malcolm, and it's flew under the radar, and he's off to a win. He's off to a good start on opening day, and looking at that Bede side, it's probably not as big a squad as other squads in the league, but again, Straney seems to have kind of replaced well in key areas.
He does bring a gem in. To be fair, I like Big Fraser. He's somebody that I kept an eye on myself. I try to get him to come up last season. We need a different player. He's a player that I think he can get goals in him. He's not played at that level, so obviously he's still having to find his feet. Having said that, Kieran Diver he only played every Benber when he was a younger lad, so he would come back. So no, he's done well to try and replenish. Slightly different, obviously, losing guys like Aaron Mason as well, who's got pace and direct in a wee bit different way. But to be fair, Chris just adapts. To be fair to them, I know, and it gets everybody in absolutely working their backside off for them, and they're on it together type of thing. So that's if you're well organised and hard to beat, and if you've got guys in your team like Monty and Andy Monk and stuff like that as well, and even like a Fraser, and you know yourself, Lewis Lovren will chip in with goals, you know what I mean, as well. So they've still got goals in their team. They'll still be. I still think they'll do better than maybe what other people, when speaking to them, they might think they'll struggle this season. I don't think they could do all right, but I know there are obviously a lot of stiff competition out there. But it's, as I said, it's a good win for Chris to obviously. Obviously, but my big mate John is unfortunately he's had a 3-0 defeat. But to be fair, Shots are going in there, just basically going to go and do their best and as much as they can, and hopefully they'll cause a couple of upsets and do well with it. But it's a tough start. Listen, it's always going to be a tough start to go to the champions, even though most of their cut of players or not. That was always a difficult game for John and Shots to go in there and go and win. So they'll take that in the chin and just move on to the next one.
Yeah, I think that's the kind of thing. And you obviously look at another result as well. Gartcairn won, Clydebank 3. Obviously, Gartcairn took the lead through Mark McGuigan, but Clydebank, good recovery to win the game. An own goal for Craig Little. And then Nicky Little, we scored, I think it was his ninth season in a row, he scored a goal. So, again, terrific servant for Clydebank. Dean Cairns, I heard of the terrific game. He'll be up for Player of the Week in this division. And strong start for Clydebank, but it'll be disappointing as well for Gartcairn not to get a win, especially after being ahead.
I think that was obviously the game of the day. Just because I think they talk about finances that the players, some players have went to both clubs for, and this kind of carry on it's going on so a wee bit. So no doubt all eyes are on that kind of game. But yeah, I've no doubt about it. You know, Gartcairn will be disappointed. The fact they've lost to a so-called rival in a sense. That two clubs I would expect to be up there and thereabouts, and to lose your opening game of the season 3-1 at home isn't a good start for them. But again, they're still got a lot of good players there, so I'm pretty sure they'll be able to kind of dust themselves down and go on with it and maybe kick on the next one. But it was a big result for Moffat as well. And Gaz, so it's a great 3 points. And they've signed well, I think, Clydebank. I know they've just signed David Simon as a crack signing, and it's an area of the pitch I feel that they needed a wee bit of reinforcement in, and they've managed to get something like David Simon as a cracking signing. But for me, Dean Cairns is the one I think it could make a wee bit of difference.
I think he's a difference maker. Yeah.
I worked with Dean for a very short period, and I've got a good relationship with him. And for me, he can make the differences. And he sits in midfield, and he can sit there or he can go box to box. So I think he really adds a different kind of dynamism that they've not really had in the last couple of years. So for me, that's probably the most important sign at the moment. But I think getting somebody like Dave Simon as well, I think that just shows them up a little bit. And again, it just proving that obviously got to Gartcairn and getting a good opening day win.
Yeah, absolutely. Drumchapel off to a winning start. They won 3-1 at home to Hurlford. Mackenzie, Biabi and Hopcup with the goals. Strong start for Drumchapel. Hurlford, maybe not the result they were looking for in opening day, but again, you've got to hand it to Drumchapel. Big start and coming up. Only side of the three that came up to get a win in opening day.
That's a good start for Hopi. Again, difficult place to kind of go. They're a good side. They've obviously recruited quite well. I know speaking to him at the end of last season, he kind of recognised that he needed one or two specific type players, and he's got one or two of them. So again, he'll be delighted with his recruitment. Listen, it's at the end of the day, you're just getting promoted out of the first division. I know obviously Drumchapel will be, people will be saying, oh, they're spending a fortune and stuff like that as well. And that's, they spend what they spend. It's up to them. The money doesn't guarantee everything at the end of the day. But at the same time, they've got themselves a good set up there as well, and they've managed to make it a difficult place to go and get a victory. And Hurlford was disappointed. Hurlford have obviously lost a few players in pre-season, and I feel as if it just maybe that might have been a wee kind of sticky game for them to kind of start the season with, especially with Drumchapel coming up as the kind of champions. Feel good factor at home, opening day of the season, good crowd. I just feel as if that was going to be a Drumchapel win, and obviously Hurlford are still kind of finding their feet with maybe one or two new signings as well. So it's a difficult opening day for them. But again, you're talking about an experienced manager in Hendo, so no doubt about it, he'll be able to go and ride that wee wave and kick them on again.
Yeah, absolutely. Auchinleck 2, Darvel 0 on opening day. Clark and Gillis with a goal for Talbot. Big start for them. And looking at last season, obviously they didn't start well, but getting 3 points in opening day, beating Darvel, I know that'll have felt good to a lot of Talbot supporters. And look, can I listen to kind of Alan McClucky's post-match interview and kind of talk to a few people at the game? All reports for Talbot were very, very good.
Well, certainly just coming to the highlights, I seen it looked like one team was ever going to win it. It just looked like one way pressure. I don't know if that was just maybe how the highlights were shown or not, but you're right. As soon as I heard one or two people saying the same thing, that Talbot were the more dominant side. But you've got to remember, obviously, Darvel just literally just put a new squad together.
Yeah.
Just lost David Time, matter of days beforehand as well. So a lot of that kind of takes an effect, and no doubt about it. Mick's going to take a wee bit of time there to go and try and bed himself into the division, bed himself into with his players, and get his kind of what he wanted, his message across to the players in the group. So it was never going to be an easy start going to Talbot in opening day of the season, and he's obviously going to have to try and find his feet pretty quick, and hopefully you can find it quick enough that he can get himself a stable enough. But putting a new squad together that all the way through the summer there, it's never going to be easy to try and hit the ground running, especially going to places like Talbot, who are, as you know, a little bit like a machine. You know what I mean? They just keep going, no matter how many times they bring one in, one out. They seem to get you seem to get good signings in and good young players in there as well. So no, he's done a tremendous job as well, Tucker. And again, it's a good start for him.
And there's a good start for Pollock as well. 2-1 away win at Troon. Entertaining game. All reports good performances from both sides. I think both sides played pretty well. By all reports, all 3 goals coming at before half time. Again, Troon obviously took the lead, but a good recovery for Pollock. I think Pollock are quite difficult to assess this season, and I know there's some people saying there's obviously they've lost a lot of money, they've lost a few players, but I really don't think Pollock are going to have any trouble at the bottom of the table. I don't think they're going to be anywhere near that. Whether they'll be at the top is a different thing, but I do think they've got the squad to be fairly comfortable in this league.
I think, I mean, Maxie's obviously worked with Maxie before for a few years, and then we still keep in touch, we're still friends that way, and I speak to him quite regular, and he said he obviously do an awful lot in the last 6 months, 8 months, recruitment, then obviously then monetary things coming into it, and a lot of off the field stuff, which wasn't too great, but had a great strong end to the season last season. Difficult again, trying to get pre-season their way and recruit right, and he's brought a lot of players in there that probably don't have a lot of Premier League experience. But he knows obviously how to find a gem. He's done that with Rob Roy for a number of years, and he's managed to bring a few of them in. And obviously, this is a great start for him to go to Troon's, a difficult place in the first place anyway. But it's a great win. Take it off the mark. But it's one of the kind of things they'll be still bedding in a little bit as well. A lot of their players, and there's one or two players who looks to recruited well. I see the boy Kieran McPhee obviously scored as well, and he looks a handful as well. Looks like he's going to get himself goals and create for him. So. It was a great opening day win. I was against one of the kind of things that I agree with. I don't think Pollock will be running about the bottom as to how far up they'll go. I don't think the expectation for the outside looking in, for me, from my point of view, is the expectation is they're going to be up there and thereabouts, kind of challenging. If they do, then brilliant. But considering obviously the kind of finances that other teams in the recruitment they've been doing, so. But just any day you can only take, your opening day, you go and get 3 points away from home, and you move on. And I think they've got Gartcairn tomorrow night as well. I think it is so. Again, it's another difficult game, but again, it's one that's certainly winnable. They showed that last season. I think they beat them twice towards the end of last season, so you never know. They could maybe go and do it again and get a strong start to the season for them.
Cumnock got off to a winning start as well. Obviously, 1-0 away win at Bember, but it was the substitutes that made the difference. Obviously, Tam Moore that came in during the week from Stranraer, played a pass to Alan McKenzie, obviously formerly of St Carlick's as well, and got Cumnock off to a winning start at Bember. But I heard this was quite a kind of scrappy game, actually. I think both sides had chances. Cumnock, though, that's the ones they'll look at, and if they are to challenge up at the top this season, if they got off to a winning start away from home, and your subs making a difference, those are going to be two big players this season for them as well.
100%. I think Swifties recruited well. Again, the talk is the money they're spending and the recruitment they've got and all this kind of stuff, and it's just half the time it's all nonsense. But at the same time, they're a good club coming up. As I said, I was only there for a short time, and as I say, we parted ways amicably as well. And I still obviously rate the guys down there are a good club, just at the wrong time for me personally. But Swifties went in there and obviously managed to recruit a lot of players that he knows from the kind of senior ranks and boys in the kind of been about the kind of lower league stuff. And he's created obviously that environment now down there where all the eyes are kind of going to be on him a little bit and see obviously how the starters. But to go to Benburb in the opening day of the season and even get a victory is difficult. We've done it a couple of times with Rob Roy to go and get an opening win, and we lost both occasions. So it was never an easy place to go. And in full credit, watching the highlights, it does look a scrappy game, but it's just, it can be at times down at Benburb. I don't know if it's the motorway wind or whatever. It just seems to kind of cause a bit of a scrap at times. But Ben certainly don't make it easy for you either. And to come out with any kind of win in your opening day, especially when, again, you're putting a brand new squad together, really. There's a lot of players that he knows and some of them know each other. There's still a lot of new recruits in there. So to try and gel them together as well and to get off to a flyer or off to a winning start anyway in a clean sheet, it's going to be a massive bonus for them. So he's done well, obviously, Swifty there to guide them through that 3 points, and they can move on to the next game.
Yeah, absolutely. Big draw, obviously. This was the one game I would have thought, if you were to say what's the one game that could be a 0-0 draw, probably Largs Johnson. I think that could have been written in the stars. Largs 0, Johnson 0. You look at Johnson's squad, it is frightening on paper. Largs, though, again, nobody's going to go to Largs and get an easy game. So probably looking at reports, draws probably a fair result. And I think both sides will be fairly content with an opening draw.
I don't think it'll be either man's will be too disappointed. I think obviously depending what the expectation is, Johnston Borough supporters, they'll feel as if they'll go to Largs, because Largs are arguably one of the maybe the lower budgets and stuff like that as well, which they spoke about as well. And Johnston Borough are going to be biggest and stuff like that as well. When people are talking, they should go there and win, but that's not obviously how the game works. You never get an easy time. Arnie never makes it easy for you when you go to Largs. And you need to really go there and grind the result out. And to even get a 0-0 draw, it's a decent opening day result. Again, especially Murdy's putting again, you're talking about a whole new squad almost together there. He's kind of tail end of last season and then trying to obviously get the right recruits and bed them in as well this season. So it's never going to be easy. Where Largs, I think, have only added a couple of players for last season's squad. So they're pretty much well drilled. And they had a great season last season, so they don't really needed to add too much. And what they've added has been good quality as well. So they're good, honest, hard-working players. So it was always going to be difficult for them. So you're right. I don't think it was. I think you're right. I had a draw myself in my head. I did think it'd be one each, but to certainly say, finish 0-0, both obviously defences came on top. But as I said, neither manager, I don't think will be too disappointed with that one.
Nah, I don't think so. Looking into the first division, we'll start with Irvine Meadow 1, Petershill 5. Meadow 1 up through the boy Cree, but doubles from Young and Morgan and Cassels with a goal. Massive start for Petershill, especially coming from 1-0 down. Meadow, on the other hand, though, that'll be as bad a start as they could have hoped for.
I think obviously Ben will be disappointed. I watched the kind of goals and the highlights for that game as well. I think he'll be disappointed with some of the goals that they've conceded. I think just defensively they just looked a wee bit all over the place, and it'll be disappointing for them. Especially there are 4 guys. I think the actual one was actually there last season. So I think obviously plus the goalkeeper, Big Jamie, obviously had it at Cumnock. So these new as well. So they're still trying to obviously bed a lot of these kind of guys in. But again, they're a bit disappointed with the goals they conceded, and obviously in the manner they've conceded, because they finished obviously the end of last season with a couple of heavy defeats. So to go into the start of the season at home in the division below, you're kind of hoping to kind of kick on and get off to a good winning start and try and get yourself on the front foot. But they've obviously been pegged back, after that 1-goal start, and it's been a difficult one for them. But for Peasy's point of view, I was kind of helping Peasy out towards the end of last season a wee bit and some wee bits in the summer. And to be fair, they've obviously done well to recruit who they managed to recruit, and it's been a great signings for them, and they've got off to an absolute flyer. Some of the goals are very, very good as well. So no doubt McNeil and Palmer they would have been delighted with that kind of result. And again, to expect to go there and make it really tough, really difficult place to go, and to go there and win. Not just win, but win in the manner in which they did. The guys are absolutely delighted with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Kilburnley off to a good start as well. 4-0 home win at home to Ashfield. Double from Scott Lewis, goals from Scullion and Connolly. Kilburnley were a side that I thought would, again, this division is so hard to call, but Kilburnley were a side that you think if they click, and they've got a really good coaching staff, if they click, they could be up there.
But again, I watched them a few times in the last season, and for up to Christmas they were kind of struggling a little bit, and then for that point onwards, fair play to Spenny, that they just kicked on. They managed to get a recruit, one or two others to come in the door. They managed to get their house in order. Defensively looked a lot stronger, and before you know it, they just kicked on. So they've started off really, really well. Obviously, getting Ashfield, who are in a very difficult position, losing the manager at the end of last season. Recruitment again was no doubt difficult, and obviously lost a lot of players. So it was a very tough opening game for them to get to go to Kilburnley. But I don't think it mattered who Ashfield were got an opening day of the season, or anybody, to be honest. It's a difficult league, as you say. So go there and they still bed their time in a little bit. Seanville's going to just try and just get in and better weight the noon, get the organisation right, and then obviously find his feet in the league. But it's a tough league, and obviously Kilburnley going forward are probably one of the best sides in the league as well, especially Scott Lewis, who's capable of getting goals as well, and Wee Scully as well. Albeit he seemed to get a header for the ground, but not to go well. But as I say, these are obviously tough games, but against a flyer for Kilburnley, so I don't no doubt Spain will be delighted.
3-0 wins for Arthurlie at home at St Rochs, and then Vale of Clyde won 3-0 away at Blantyre. Arthurlie, good start for them. Healy, Bolger and McGaughey with the goals for them, and Vale of Clyde, brilliant start for them away to Blantyre. Donaghy, Wright and Taylor. Arthurlie, Vale of Clyde are two good sides, obviously different paths. Arthurlie coming down last season, Vale of Clyde coming up, and both starting strong.
Arthurlie, I mean, to be fair, I think the scoreline kind of flattered Arthurlie a wee bit. I was actually at the game. I was doing a wee bit of shouting. I was at the game, so I thought St Rochs were excellent for large spells of the game. Hit the bar twice, hit the post. Probably should have found ourselves one up. Having said that, Arthurlie missed a penalty and missed a gilt edge kind of chance a wee bit later in the first half. So they've been disappointed maybe not to take a lead, but overall I thought, getting to half time, a draw would have been a fair result. But the sending off just right after half time killed St Rochs, and that's when they kind of scored within that wee period. They were still trying to just make their adjustments, and obviously as they were doing that, they were finding themselves 1-0 down, and it became a real uphill kind of task there after that. But again, it's just you're just looking to go off to a flying start, and obviously after managed to do it. But St Rochs will feel as if they maybe should have got something at the game overall for what they put into it. But it's just one of the kind of things. They'll just need to kind of dust themselves down and move on to the next one very, very quickly. But yeah, next point there is with Vale of Clyde, strong side coming up, recruited quite well in the summer, and they've got a really good win. And again, I think there was a sending off in that as well for Blantyre, and obviously Ross has just went in there as well, and again trying to recruit a lot of players within I think a 2-week period. I think he's only been in about 2.5 weeks or so. So trying to recruit a whole new team almost within that period was always going to be really difficult for Ross. So hopefully he'll kind of get a better turn again over the next coming weeks, basically, to give him a chance and to get herself a decent squad together.
Yeah, absolutely. Game of the week in that league was Maybole 3, Thornleywood 4. Maybole were 3-1 up at half time. Massive comeback for Thornleywood. Ross Forbes scoring the last minute winner to give Goms the 3 points in opening day. And Rob Roy, big occasion for them, obviously first game at their new stadium, and they go off to a winning start, 1-0 win over Renfrew. Thornleywood first of all, though, what a comeback to get 3 points there.
Sounds an excellent game again. I mean, no doubt Goms will be pulling his heritage with the defending, but what a reaction, whatever he said at half time, whatever adjustments he's made at half time have made a massive difference. And obviously he's again tough place to go and get a result. Maybe it's a ground I've actually never been at. So, but when I see the highlights and I speak to people about it, they go, it's a hard place to go. So to go there on opening day of the season and get ourselves a 4-3 victory, Gums will certainly be delighted for that one. And the Rob Roy one you just mentioned there, delighted for Rob Roy. Obviously, just been back there as a club there for a few years myself, and the hard work they put in to get that ground up and running, and all the hard work he was in the background, it was just frightening. So it was good to see them back. I had a top of the crowd as well. It was up like
That'll be really good as well.
over 800 people apparently was at the game, so I don't know where I actually read that, but they're top of a big crowd, so a good to get off to a victory as well, especially they're coming back down again. They're obviously good to get off to a wee flyer there, but referee have been tough as well, so not an easy game for them, but just to get the 3 points, I think he'll be delighted, especially when he's again just a new manager coming into a new club and trying to find his feet and recruiting right and get that spot on. So he's done well to get a victory.
2 draws as well in the league. Cumbernauld 2, Rutherglen 2. Bowie with a double for Cumbernauld. Rutherglen's goals came from Woodhouse and McManus. And a local derby was Colwyn 1, Ardrossan 1. Boylan scoring a goal for the Buffs in the first minute, and then Ardrossan getting an equaliser through Wilson. Cumbernauld Rutherglen, probably another game we'd expect it to be a draw. I did think Ardrossan would get a result, but I do think that could be quite a big point for Colwyn.
Not to be fair, it's been a tough again for Kevin, to come in as well. There's been transfers, players going out the door and stuff, and he's trying to bring players in. So to manage to get a draw against what you could say is a well-oiled machine at the moment with Ardrossan in the last couple of years. They've recruited well as well, Ardrossan, and got a good squad. So to go and get yourself a point in the board against our kind of local rival, all the eyes have been on Colwyn a wee bit to see obviously they're going to start. So pleased for Kevin to at least get a point in the board and it gives him a start for the game. But so delighted him for that score. But in terms of the kind of overall game, it's just still the early days for him. So no doubt he'll be looking to take the positives forward and try and move on to the next one and try and get 1 or 2 bodies in as well. Because I think he's just lost Kieran Wood there as well to Gart Cairn also. So that's a big blow.
Yeah, absolutely. Second division, I think we have to look at the result of the weekend. I think that's the result of the weekend across the leagues actually. Larkhall 6, Neilston 0. I wasn't sleeping in Larkhall, but I did not expect them to beat Neilston on opening day 6-0. Carlin, McLeod and Reid all scoring doubles. Brian will be absolutely delighted with that.
All the moon, to beat a team that's just been relegated as well, who'll still feel that they can go and push to get promotion again, no doubt. I know Andy Wyford really well. I've worked with him before, so I know he'll be devastated. Obviously that result and obviously that kind of start. But I watched actually Larkhall just a few weeks. I hadn't seen Larkhall, and I watched them a few weeks ago there against Stornowwood. Fun enough, I was up at a pre-season game, and I was thoroughly impressed with Larkhall. I just think they've got some really good players. They're well organised. Brian's got them going playing some good stuff, and they look aggressive in both boxes as well. So when I'm a bit surprised, obviously, with the scoreline. In terms of obviously scoring 6 goals and no reply for Neilston, but it didn't surprise me that Larkhall went and won the game because just having watched them a couple of weeks ago, I thought they were very good. So I think they'll find themselves there and thereabouts if they continue that kind of form. But no, it's a wee bit of devastating kind of start for Neilston. But again, he just nothing's won and lost at this time of the year. So first game of the season, disappointing. Obviously, hopefully, time just put it to bed and move on again.
Yeah, absolutely. Another side that did a really good start, Cambuslang, obviously coming down 5-1 away win at Craigmark, double from Godson Neche, goal from Lyon, Johnson and Fabian. Big start for Cambuslang, and knowing a lot of the support, they've probably been waiting in a game like that for a while. Just a really good start. Craigmark looked to be a bit turbulent over the summer, and Cambuslang, strong start on opening day.
It's a good start for Cambuslang. They've had a couple of seasons now, Cambuslang, where they've always looked as if they've been in the tail end, a few hinds, and been relegated and stuff. So just to kind of go in that league, probably stabilise and try and build and go back the way again. So to go off to a flyer at 5-1. And again, listen, Craigmark's not an easy place to go as well. I know obviously they're struggling a wee bit in terms of recruitment, and managers changed the last 6-8 months. There's been a couple of managers in there as well. So no doubt about it, it's been a difficult place in the past, and it's not quite there yet. But so Cambuslang will be, no doubt about it, they'll be delighted they've got that one early doors, because no doubt Craigmark will improve as the season goes on. So no doubt they'll be happy with that 3 points, and they get someone a good start and move on to the next one.
Yeah, absolutely. 3-1 victories for, first of all, Lanark 3, Maryhill 1. Maryhill were 1-0 up. Goals from Fraser Tully and Miko gave Lanark a 3-1 victory. And Whitlett's going to Bonnet and winning 3-1 as well. Boyd, Nisbet and Howarth there. Lanark and Whitlett's, can he ask for better opening days?
No, I like Lark. I actually only watched him a couple. It must have been 18 months ago now. I like the look of him. I think again well organised, well drilled, some good players there. I think they'll fancy themselves to try and go and push again this season. So that's a good start for him. Obviously, getting again Mary Hill had a decent season last season. Maybe look to try and kick on a wee bit. But certainly Lark a good result for Lark off the bat. But the Witless one for me is one I think Witless will do well. I think I know they've lost a couple of players, but I think obviously again even one or two bits of recruitment they've done quite well as well. So I think they'll be there and thereabouts come the end of the season. They're one that I tipped. I think will be there and thereabouts to go and try and go up again. And again they've got a new setup there as well, so they'll make it a wee bit easier to attract players there. And they seem to be a good club as well. So I think they'll do well.
Les Mahago 3, 4-2. Good result for Les Mahago. Obviously, they had a really good run to end the season last year. Obviously, a lot of change there over the summer as well. And big result in fourth. A lot of people were thinking fourth to get down. I'm not necessarily sure they will. I think they've got good players in good areas. But I think Les Mahago will be delighted to get off to a winning start like that.
I think again it's a kind of local game in it for us. I've always a wee bit kind of dark about that neck of the woods. So to get any result at home or even away from him, if you get any result in the opening day of the season, you're delighted. But I obviously know Jerry Ward, well, the fourth manager, and again with Jerry, he'll be disappointed. They've obviously come away with a defeat. But again, I think did they actually play each other in the cup as well? In that they kind of plays the cup as well. So they kind of they've just no long faced each other. So it's a difficult kind of game to take on. But Les Meg will be delighted. I think he'll be happy with that one. Just to get off the mark. Jerry obviously again, it's a narrow defeat. So it's not as if it's like a heavy defeat where he needs to sit and look at things and go, rip up the game plan. So I think obviously it'll be just a tight game, which I expect that league to be as well, to be honest, given the kind of clubs that's involved.
Yeah, absolutely. 1-0 win for Caledonian Locomotives away at Yoker. Penalty from Slattery. Kilsyth beating St Anne's 1-0. Goal from Whiteley, and Muirkirk going to Bellshill winning 1-0. Caledonian, Kilsyth and Muirkirk. Tight wins, but 3 points in opening day. It's all you ask for, isn't it?
That's it. Obviously, I know the two guys that are in it, Cali Local. The two players that used to play was Rob Roy, Big Danny, and Gav Mackey. So delighted for them to get the one as a management team. And again, Yoker, good side as well on a surface as well. So it's a good win for them, and to get a 3 point. Great to get how they managed to get Slattery, and obviously I know they're kind of friends, but it's a great signing for them. So they managed to pull them in, but a good win for the guys there as well. Muirkirk, I'm probably surprised a wee bit with that result. I thought I fancied Bellshill maybe to go and get a result there. But again, a great result for Muirkirk. I know they're building a young side and they're just progressing nice and easy. They're going to put their business quietly. So another great win away from home. No easy place to go. Who's the other games for you, mate?
The other game was Kilsyth and St Anne's. Obviously, St Anne's had a lot of change over the past week, but Kilsyth are a side I don't really know a lot about. I know they've obviously got a new manager in, and I can see Kilsyth potentially. Just looking at their squad, they look pretty solid.
I would probably say that's probably a good way of describing it. It looked pretty solid. I think they lost one or two players, but recruited one or two as well. So just how much disruption there will be, I don't know, but they're like a pretty solid side, even for last season. I think they'll be disappointed. It just kind of the promotion push kind of just tailed off at the end of last season. But again, it's a win for them, and it gets them off the mark. St Anthony's obviously went through a wee bit of turmoil the last week or so with Danny leaving the job and then try to recruit, try to get players in, try to get a manager in. Difficult time, and obviously Johnny Fallon's missed again. So Graham Crawford obviously took over the game against the Rocks last week in the midweek game. So and they've done well by all accounts. So I think it's been maybe a positive last couple of games for all, but it's a defeat. Again, they'll obviously take some positive. I think they've got a game tonight against Cali Loco as well tonight. So maybe St Anthony's obviously will hope to try and get a wee something out of that game. But it's going to be a difficult start for them maybe. And Johnny obviously just try to find his feet with the players.
Into the third division, John, can you tell me an interesting fact about the opening weekend in the third division?
Interesting fact. No, you've got me there.
All 16 teams scored.
All right.
Yep, all 16 teams scored on opening day. I don't think they'll be able to go like that.
I'm just trying to think if that's ever. No, again, there might be something that's just no pointed out before, but no.
I've never noticed that before, but again, fascinating weekend. Weekend of 4-1s, certainly away from home. We'll start with Fanart, 4-1 win away to Glasgow Perthshire. Fanart are tough to assess because they do have some good players in there, but going to Perthshire and winning 4-1 on opening day, that's a statement win.
Isn't it half? I know again. I know two guys that are up there really well. I know Big Brian Blair really well. And Scott Murdoch. So I'm delighted for them to get off that one. Again, they had one or two wee bits of recruitment in the summer there. They brought in a couple of players that I feel as if they could help them kick on a little bit as well and add a bit more firepower. So it's an excellent one because it's not an easy place to go and get any kind of result, and it's usually a tough place. So to go there and get a convincing opening day win. The guys will be obviously on the moon with that one. It's a tough place, and I seen you go there, and it's no matter what time of the year it is as well. It's always tough, Perthshire, but you go there on opening day and go and get a win. It's very flattering for them. Then it's a positive start for them, definitely.
Absolutely, Luger, massive result for them. 4-1 win away at Glasgow United. McCulloch, Mack, and Craig and McIver with the goals for Luger. I don't think a lot of people would have saw that coming.
No, I actually had personally had it done as a draw. I thought that would be tight. It would be a tough game. But I know Luger also have been quite positive for last season and got promotion, and they've clearly just carried that on. They're just taking that end of season form into next season, and they've done brilliant. It's a great start. It's a tough place to go again. I know I keep probably saying that it's a tough place to go, and it is. And it's just one of the kind of venues you never get an easy game there. So to go there and get again another score that many goals as well in the opening day and set a marker for themselves. So no, well played to them, well done.
And I don't think a lot of people would have picked this out, but I think a lot of people would have had this down as an entertaining game. Glenvale 1, Vale of Leven 4.
Again, no. Again, it was one of the games I thought could be a draw because Glenvale just getting promoted. I think Vale of Leven obviously had a good season last season as well. No fans themselves to get promotion. I didn't expect that as a scoreline. As I said, I thought it'd be a tight contest. Clearly it wasn't, but again, we don't know how the game went. It could be, for all I know, it could be 4 goals in the last 2 minutes, for all I know. But no, it's a great win for Vale of Leven. It's a club that will feel this season they'll want to kick on after obviously having a good season last season. Glenvale, obviously, it's just a case of it's a bit of welcome to the division almost, isn't it, a wee bit? But I'm sure they'll get over that. They've got good players there as well. They'll get over that and they'll kick themselves on. I fancy Glenvale will be there and thereabouts as well, probably come the end of the season.
Ardere 3, Dalry 1, good Ayrshire game there on Saturday as well. And Irvine Vicks 1, Kilsyth Athletic 3. Two managers will be absolutely thrilled to get off to opening day win. Sean Kenny, Ardere, and Bailey at Kilsyth, and they'll both be thrilled to get a winning start.
I think certainly Bailey going to Irvine Vicks, it's not an easy place with that narrow pitch and the way they've been playing. I know the bubble kind of burst a wee bit last season. Irvine Vicks had a couple of good seasons there. Then last season just kind of petered out for him a wee bit. So I did expect Sean to try and get off to a winning start there, but Kilsyth, just because they had a wee bit of struggle last season, I actually thought Irvine Vicks maybe would have got the 3 points there, but fair play to Kilsyth. They've done brilliant to go there and go and get an opening day win. So that's again, it's just because it's the type of venue it is. And I know obviously Sean Bailey likes to go and get his team to go and play a bit of football, and it's not always easy to go and do that on a kind of pitch there on the surface there.
Yeah, absolutely. 3 draws as well. Girvan 3, Wishaw 3, Threave and Thorn. I think that would have been the game I would have picked out all weekend. That could have been a draw. They're 2 really good sides. They'll be up there. Greenock 1, Glasgow Uni 1. Like three games you wouldn't have been surprised that it went the way they have.
Again, all tough kind of games. I've not spoke to Gary Fleming in the last wee couple of months there, really, to be honest, apart from a couple of messages, but I know he's lost a few players, obviously. So try to recruit doing it's not the easiest thing to do and try and get local players in. So again, to get off to at least to get a point in the board, mate, but they can start. I think probably knowing Gary, you'll be disappointed it's not been an opening day win from. But you don't know what you're going to get. Obviously with Glasgow Uni, you don't know obviously who players are going to be there and what players have moved on and such. So you kind of very difficult to kind of do any kind of homework on. You see obviously where they're at with it, but no, it's a tough opening day draw. And again, as you say, the other scores there, they're all tough games. You look at Threave and Thorn. I did think Threave may have edged that one, but they were 2-0 up at one point. I heard as well, and they pulled it back to 2 each. Fair play to Thorn. As you say, I think they're the kind of teams that will be there and thereabouts. But there's that many in that league. You talk with Threave, Thorn, Glenvale, Vale of Leven. There's a few. It could be up there come the end of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll move into the 4th division. Big start for Ross Vale. 5-2 away win at St Peters. Doubles from Rennick, Doherty, and a goal from Fallon. And Ross Vale, well fancied, and they've got off to a good start away from home.
Again, a good season last season. Ross Vale, they'll be just disappointed and maybe never managed to get themselves promoted. But that was more about the other clubs being odd good on the days as well when they've come across them. But Ross feel as if they've got a good squad there, young players as well, and trying to obviously progress and fair play to them. It's a great start to go to St Peters to go and get a victory.
Yeah.
No doubt that St Peters were one to get off to a good start as well. I know they've kind of changed a couple of management team as well, but a wee bit. So you're always keen to get off to a good start. But no, fair play to Rossville. They've went there and won convincingly. So, and again, they're a team I fancy. I think they'll be up there and thereabouts come the end of the season.
Kello 4, BSC 1, doubles from Johnson and Armour. I think a lot of people were sleeping in Kello actually, and I don't discount myself in that. I thought they would do okay. The big problem last year was getting players fit and getting players back from injury, and they seem to have kept a lot of their squad, and they've added a few youngsters as well. That's a good start for Kello to win 4-1 at home.
As and I fancy Kello to be in there about the end of the season. I said that to you off show as well. I think Kello are just at the time now where they're going to get the things right for them as well, find their feet a little bit in the division, and then know obviously what they need to go and do, and keeping guys like Armour as well is obviously going to be handy. He's capable of scoring goals, so without a doubt, I think that's a great start for them. And as I said, I really fancy them, going up this season.
What about obviously probably a result not a lot of people just saw coming? Giffnock 0, Newmains 3. Newmains were a side that again they've kind of been fairly kind of not content, but I wouldn't say they've been much of a threat. But I mean, Giffnock were chasing promotion last season. To go there and win 3-0 on opening day, huge.
That's a bit of a shock result, if I'm being honest. I think Keith obviously was disappointed. I think he lost one or two. I'm not quite sure who he lost. I just heard somebody.
Clark's away, isn't he?
I couldn't tell you who it was that left, to be honest. I'm not quite sure who he went to or where he went or whatever. But to obviously lose Clark, if he's lost that amount of goals in his team, then that's going to be a big loss to him. But I think I obviously expect it to be tough, but I didn't expect obviously to be a 3-0 without any kind of reply for Giffnock, because Giffnock are one of the teams that could chip in with some goals, like to go and play their football a wee bit. If anything, probably would suffer a little bit sometimes going to away to places like Newmains and difficult venues and try and get results. But again, on at home, you expect them to go and get the 3 points here. So fair play to Newmains. It's a terrific start to the season for them.
Absolutely, that's another good result for Knightswood as well, off to a winning start. This is their second season in the league. They will be looking to build on last season. They seem to have brought in a few good players. They've got a good coach, and good start at home. And again, they could do okay.
They'll be fine. They'll be one of the teams, obviously, I think, given who they've signed, like Darren Miller and Ross McPherson, Rhys McGillian and a few others, obviously, that they've known that the previous managers worked with before. It's at Knightswood when they were under 21s kind of boys. So to go and manage to pull the kind of guys in is going to be massive to them as well. So I do think they'll have a strong season. It's just trying to keep everybody fit, I think, for them a wee bit. They've obviously got a lot of quality in there. If you can keep them fit, I think obviously they'll do well. But it's a tough division, obviously, because they're still pretty much in like an unknown quantity in a lot of cases, where a lot of teams in Knightswood have just found their feet for last season. So this season, obviously, they clearly feel as if they can go and take the next step.
Yeah, absolutely. Big result for Easterhouse as well. 2-1 home win over East Kilbride Thistle, and Port Glasgow off to a winning start, 2-1 away at West Park. And Saltcoats massive 1-0 win away at Carluke. So Easterhouse, Port Glasgow and Saltcoats all off to winning starts.
To touch on Salt, I'm pleased for Big Stevie. Stevie's again, I've bought him for a number of years, and when I look at obviously what he inherited last season, was really tough, and I think he's had a pretty tough pre-season as well. So to go there on the opening day of the season and go and get a 1-0 victory away from home, it's a tremendous start for him. So I'm delighted for him that he managed to get that result in there. Port, I expect to be there. I expect Port to probably win the league this season. I think with the recruitment they've got, they'll be there and thereabouts. And I probably say they're going to probably win the league for me anyway. But I think the recruitment they've got, again, and keep people fit, and if they keep that mentality in there, they've got a lot of quality in that dressing room. So I would imagine they'll be for my view anyway. I think they'll win the league. So again, I've got off to a good start, because West Park are a team that like to go and play as well, and I think they'll probably fancy themselves a wee bit at home to Port Glasgow. So but fair play to the Port, they managed to go and get a good result and a good opening day win.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's been a fascinating weekend on opening day. Let's look into what's happening this week. We've obviously got some midweek action. We're recording this at 7 o'clock on Tuesday night, so these results will have happened by the time this is going out. Darvel, Glenafton, Johnson, Auchinleck could be a thrilling game in the Premier Division. You've got Ashfield Kilwinning on Tuesday night. Some good games, obviously, on Wednesday as well. Just looking at what's coming up on Wednesday, you've got Bees from Chapel, Pollock, Cairn, Cumnock, Largs, Ardross and Atherley. You've got Rutherglen, Kilburney, Vela, Clyde, Cumbernauld. Some really good games in there. Second Division, Cambuslang, Les Mahago, Muirkirk, Lanark, Whitlets, Craig Mark. Third Division, a game that stands out, Thorn, Glenvale. And then fourth Division, probably the game, Port Glasgow, Rossvale. There's a lot of exciting action, and I'd encourage everybody to get to a game. And where are you going to be this midweek?
Tonight I may head up to Johnstonborough tonight to go and watch the game against Auchinleck. I just think that's a tasty game to go and watch. Tomorrow I've actually not made up my mind yet where I'm going to go yet. To be honest, I was looking at maybe got with Peter Silver, watch the game against Thornwood for the same reason. Again, that'll be a wee bit tasty, but again, there's that many good games, to be honest. You know, you're kind
a lot of good
choice to see where you're going to go. But I think there's a few interesting ones come up. Again, Pollock and Gartcairn would be a cracking game to go and watch as well. So I think just to see also how that fares out. But no, I think no matter where you go, you're not going to be disappointed, are you?
No, I think anybody will be getting their money's worth going anywhere this midweek. Obviously, there's action on Saturday as well. We'll be back next week with a new episode looking at all the action in the region. John, thank you very much for joining me on Open Weekend. It's been a real pleasure to get through this with you, and best of luck wherever you go this season. Hopefully, we'll be back on before that, though.
Hopefully be back in a job soon enough anyway, mate. But if no, I'm welcome anytime, mate, and I'm delighted I could help you out as well. So keep doing what you're doing, mate, doing well.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, John. Thanks very much, everyone. It's tuned in, and we'll see you all next week. Thank you very much.